let's get to some of these characters that we're trying to mix things up a little bit.
That's stating it lightly.
Yeah.
Mr. Gaylord.
Yeah.
That's stating it lightly.
They were trying to, again, connect themselves to the message of Martin Luther King Jr. First, we have that organization called the NRA, the National Rifle Association.
Ratchet Association.
Yeah, so on that glorious day, which was just yesterday, they put out a post on Twitter. And it says, "Today, the men and women of the NRA honor the profound life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King applied for a concealed carry permit in a May issue state and was denied. We will never stop fighting for every law-abiding citizen's right to self-defense. Hashtag MLK Day."
You know, the first thing that came to mind when I saw that tweet?
What's that?
Philando Castile.
Oh, yeah.
Philando Castile came to mind, and you know who else came to mind?
Who?
Their spokesperson,
Oh,
Dana Loesch, who
Loesch.
pretty much went on national TV and justified the murder of Philando Castile and did everything she could to put him at fault
Right.
for what the cop did and for what was obviously a mishap on the cop's fault. If you watch the video, he was just all up in his nervous feelings.
That's correct. That's correct.
But yeah, their spokesman got on national TV and did not stand up for the rights of a United States citizen to carry a gun.
Yeah. What came into my head was, the NRA is historically against gun control, right? But years ago, during this time too, I mean, it was during the time of Martin Luther King Jr. I believe it was in 1967.
Are you kind of trying to ease into a conversation about the Black Panthers?
Oh yes, they are involved.
Okay. All right.
Anybody ever heard of the Mulford Act? 1967. This was a time and period where the NRA actually campaigned with the government to ensure that gun control was actually implemented because they were scared of black people actually taking arms and carrying them out in public.
And what was the main purpose of, at that time, black people carrying arms and taking up arms? What was the main motive for doing that?
To defend their damn selves.
To defend their damn selves. Exactly. Like you.
That's
a little pepper on
yeah,
that.
Yeah, a little bit of pepper. But yeah, again, that's just one entity that is trying to hijack what Martin Luther King Jr. is about. Another person trying to distort the message that Martin Luther King Jr. Represented is our Vice President, Mike Pence. So Mike Pence actually appeared on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday, and here's a little bit of video of what he said.
The hearts and minds of the American people today are thinking a lot about it being the weekend where we remember the life and work of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One of my favorite quotes from Dr. King was, "Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy." You think of how he changed America. He inspired us to change through the legislative process to become a more perfect union. That's exactly what President Trump is calling on the Congress to do. Come to the table in a spirit of good faith. We'll secure our border, we'll reopen the government, and we'll move our nation forward, as the President said yesterday, to even a broader discussion about immigration reform in the months ahead.
That's exactly what Trump is trying to do. Inspire the nation to change. Because that's all that, Martin Luther King was trying to do. That encompasses his message perfectly. He was just inspiring us to change. Now, if he outlines it like that, if he outlines, MLK's message, when I'm using the word outlines when really I should use the word diminish.
Yeah.
If he's diminishing it to just those things, inspiring us to change or form a more perfect union, like I can apply that to any ideology I want to, because it's just some sort of loose statement.
And it's just about your personal perception too,
Yeah.
or your perspective. Like you can have all kinds of crazy opinions and kind of, I guess, try to position them as, I'm trying to do the right thing for the country. They could be busted ideas.
They could be busted things, yeah.
again, Mike Pence using Martin Luther King Jr. to push his and Donald Trump's idea. This, and you know, it's been called a vanity project, which it is. To push that is despicable. It's disgusting. Demonizing undocumented immigrants.
That's you don't think that's something that Martin Luther King would approve of?
No,
Huh?
because again, what Mike Pence said was that he inspired us to change through the legislative process. Again, demonizing undocumented immigrants. What does that have to do with the legislative process?
Oh, you mean like kind of referring to immigrants as, you know, murderers,
Right.
rapists,
Exactly.
gang
Demonizing
members,
Mexicans.
kind of presenting this false narrative that they are getting benefits that they're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to talk about, you know, like you said, the legislative process and this whole border conversation, it doesn't just surround them wanting to build a wall.
Right.
It surrounds everything that they have used in order to justify their position on the wall. Mm-hmm. So we can't just not talk about those things.
Yeah. Everything that he said was just based in lie. I mean, this administration has been lying about what the border wall will actually do for people on both sides of the wall. They've lied about crime statistics. They've lied about drugs coming in and out and what a border wall will do. So to try to push it through Martin Luther King's words and try to say that, hey, he was for trying to make us perform democracy better. No, these two things don't look alike, you know, and it's just the same effort. Mike Pence in 1968 would not have been pro Martin Luther King Jr.
He would have been part of that crowd that was saying that Martin Luther King was dividing America.
Of course,
he would have been like
an instigator,
that
an
instigator.
agitator.
That look at that. He's being influenced by the communists.